The US government shutdown has officially taken effect, the first since 2019 and under US President Trump's second term. This comes after US senators have failed to pass a last-minute bill to avert a government shutdown, all but guaranteeing funding will cut off at midnight. A shutdown brings some, but not all US government services to a temporary halt. Services deemed non-essential, such as food assistance program, federally funded preschool, the issuing of student loans, food inspections and operations at national parks will be shut till there is a resolution to this issue. It's a word tossed around often in Washington. But what does a federal shutdown really mean? My colleague Arjun Samar Mahendran breaks it down for you.
Donald Trump's America, to be precise, is in a state of a federal shutdown. Well, it's a term you hear often, or you might have heard often, but what exactly is a federal shutdown? We break it down simply and show you why it matters, even if you're not in Washington. Now, first up, why does a shutdown initially take place? Well, it takes place when the government runs out of funding. What this means is when the Congress does not approve funding by a set deadline, the federal government can't legally spend money. Now, this causes many operations to freeze, as you see there on your screen, including paychecks and services as well. A shutdown usually happens when lawmakers cannot agree on a full or even a temporary budget. It's a political standoff, but very interestingly, viewers, it's the public that always and in fact always pays the ultimate price. Moving on, as you see here, many federal services are paused during a federal shutdown. Now, services like national parks may close, passport delays also pile up, and federal agencies, in fact, also shut their doors. Now, everything considered non-essential essentially comes to a grinding halt. Meanwhile, speaking of essential services, their workers, including the Border Patrol, TSA, and even military, they still work, however, without pay during the shutdown period. Now, most get back their pay later, but the financial stress hits them, and it hits them hard. Now, finally, out of the 21 in all so far, the last being in 2018, a funding fight over immigration caused the longest shutdown in US history that, in fact, went on for 34 days. Over 800,000 workers were also affected nationwide, as I just mentioned, for 34 long days. So viewers, the next time you hear the word shutdown, you'll know it's more than just politics and bickering inside the Congress. It's people's lives.
The other big story of the hour from across India now. A strong 6.9 magnitude offshore rocked Philippines. That story coming in from Philippines at this point, killing 69 people with over 140 people injured. As officials warn, the numbers could climb further as rescuers access collapsed buildings. The Indian Embassy in Manila expressed its deepest condolences to the families of those affected by the earthquake in Philippines. Now, let's just get you some of the most defining images from that earthquake that hit Philippines. The first, CCTV footage from Cebu City showing residents panicking as they began to feel the ground shake, sending people dashing out into streets. Residents panicked in the dark as the intense shaking cut off power supply, with videos showing structures collapsing and crowds running in fear at a public market. The next video we have for you, and a not so picturesque ending to the Miss Asia Pacific International 2025, as viral videos show chaos erupting during the closing gala night of the event as panic-gripped models fell off the runway, which began shaking as the 6.9 magnitude quake hit Philippines, sending everyone to seek shelter under tables to protect themselves from falling debris. One of the contestants, Miss Belgium, suffered an injury after falling off that ramp. Among the many buildings which collapsed includes a century-old church. The church is also going viral in terms of the debris that you can see inside. Visuals show piles of debris outside the sanctuary, with large sections of the historic building visibly torn apart. Rubble was also scattered inside the monastery where properties were destroyed. Built in 1886, the shrine is considered Philippines' first archdiocesan church dedicated to Saint Rose of Lima.